I'm just going to be real. This is like the most of a blank slate I've had in front of me in quite a long time. And creatively speaking, that's terrifying. And if you're watching this video and you're also a creative or an artist, probably I would guess you've been in this same position before where, you know, you've been going and going and going, and then suddenly you find yourself at the end of a lot of things and not yet sure where the next sort of yes will come from. And I've been thinking about that a lot lately. This isn't like a huge polished thing. It's just kind of where I'm at creatively right now. So I'm sharing my thoughts in real time. I think we as creatives tend to ascribe a lot of self-worth to our busyness. I know I definitely do. I mean, just it's kind of like a trope here in LA, especially. But, you know, somebody says, "How are you?" And you tend to respond with, "Good, here's what I'm working on." Your sort of default answer to how you are is how busy you are. And I know I've internalized that. I've definitely internalized how good I'm doing and how successful I am by whether or not I have a whole lot of things lined up. And at this point in the year, I usually have multiple things lined up. Oh, I know I'm doing this and I know I'm doing that. And this year is weird because there's just nothing at the moment. Listen, that could change tomorrow. Tomorrow, somebody could call and ask me to be in something and, you know, totally different outlook. But at the moment, I'm very much staring at myself in the mirror. And that is scary. But it also, I think, is an opportunity. It's an opportunity that doesn't come very often, especially when you spend a lot of time just trying to generate things, to actually have space in your life to contemplate, like, what do you want to do with your energy and your creative ideas? It's a lot easier to say yes to something. It's a lot easier to jump into somebody else's project, into somebody else's field, if you will, than to have to figure out, what am I going to grow in mine? To like actually ask yourself, what do I really want to be making? So I'm trying to kind of undo the mechanism of just always seeking out the next yes and actually do the scarier thing, which is spend time looking in the mirror, really contemplating, like, what do you want to do with your time in a very intentional kind of way? I've kind of started thinking about it like this, and I brought a prop for this. Seeds. We're all carrying around seeds. The creative idea, the creative spark, the nugget of what can become something. I don't know if you're like me, I probably get at least 4 or 5 of them a day. Sometimes I have way more. Just little seeds of ideas of, ooh, that could be a thing, that could be a thing, that could be a thing. And more often than not, I find myself kind of collecting them, putting them in my hand, and then putting them in my pocket, and then going, I'll get to that. But the thing is, these do not become anything until I give them the space they need to grow. And before I can even plant them, what do I have to do? I actually have to prepare the soil. I have to make sure the soil is fertile. I have to make sure that it's properly taken care of, that it's tilled, that it's ready to have the seeds planted. And then once I plant the seeds, I can't just walk away and be like, all right, hopefully they turn into what is this? Quinoa. I actually have to tend to them. I actually have to make sure that they are being watered, that they're being taken care of. They're not getting too much sunlight. They're not getting too much moisture. Like, you have to really keep an eye on them if you want them to become the thing that you actually imagine they could become, which in this case is quinoa. But you actually have to spend time cultivating them to become the ideas that you really are, like, happy that you spent time working on. And that means in your personal life, you have to make space. You have to till the garden. You have to prepare to plant something. I think I spend a lot of time just trying to plant, or jump into other people's already budding gardens. And I don't spend a lot of time in my own garden preparing for what I want to grow next. And I'm realizing in this year, that is kind of what is happening. And I'm nervous about it, because it's uncertain. It's not nearly as comfortable. It's much more uncomfortable to stare at an empty piece of land and go, what do I need to do to build something here, to grow something? It's much easier to jump into somebody else's thing and go, oh my God, look at this. Everything's growing. It's great. That's a lot more fun. But the reward is that you get to actually grow something that you're really passionate about. But it takes time. It takes a lot of time. And it takes time being uncomfortable. And that's the thing that I'm really struggling with, is unpacking the identity, unpacking my self-worth, differentiating my self-worth from being attached to things, from like who I actually am as an artist. And the thing is, like, it is a privilege that we live in a time, meaning like 2025, where we can even contemplate like what we want to do creatively. Because for most of the history of humanity, human beings have only had the space in their life to, like, you know, survive, hunt for food, find meat, find shelter, and then maybe like that little extra 5% that's left over at the end of the day, maybe you know, paint on the cave wall, you know, to reflect your dreams and hopes. But most of your time was spent just like trying to survive. Of course, now we have this thing which solves like, I don't know, 95% of our problems. And, you know, not for everyone, but for most people in the Western world, some of those basic survival things have largely been solved. So now we have this, like, I don't know the stats on this exactly, I'm just making it up, but like, let's say we have like this 5% of our brain power that, you know, the original humans only spent 5% of the time contemplating what they wanted to create and what they wanted to say about the world. Well, now that space can take up a lot more of our brain power, because a lot of the other things that we've spent, you know, thousands of years solving have been solved. And so we kind of are in a really privileged position to sit here and even contemplate, like, what do I want to say? But I want to take advantage of the fact that we have that privilege, that we have that opportunity. It is more possible now than ever to create things. It's not easy. It's not easy by any means, but it is possible in a way that it wasn't even possible like 15, 20 years ago. It's possible. Just the access to tools, to resources, to platforms to share. So all that's really cool, but it's important to spend time actually cultivating the land, you know, the land in here. Like, what kind of crops do you want to share? And that's something I just have not spent as much time doing as I would like to. And I think that I'm in a season right now where I'm being given that opportunity. It doesn't always feel like an opportunity. It can feel like, nothing's happening, the doors are closed. But actually, it can be a gift. It can be a chance to reset and a chance to reevaluate, I think. So right now, I am trying to be patient, and I'm trying to evaluate what seeds are worth actually planting. I certainly don't have all the answers yet, but I'm definitely trying to sit in the silence, sit in the uncomfortability long enough to allow myself to take advantage of the privilege of being able to contemplate what I actually want to do, to be able to create intentionally, not just, you know, post things because the algorithm says to, and I heard that this might do well, and I heard that this kind of idea sells, and I can leverage this. Like, actually spend time going, what do I want to say? Who do I want to be as a creator, as an artist? What do I want to put into the world? Those are big questions, and we don't always get the opportunity or the time in our life to answer them. And I am trying to meet the moment with as much patience and humility as I can. And I suspect that if you're watching this video, you've probably been there too. So I'm curious how you navigate these times, how you navigate the slow times when there's not a lot of opportunities necessarily that you can see in front of you. And you really are in a season of being like, I got to plant some seeds. I got to grow a garden. How do you navigate that? How do you till the soil? How do you prepare to grow something? How do you tend to it? How do you feed it? How do you water it? I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hey, if you like what I do creatively, check out my Patreon at patreon.com/KurtMega and get access to exclusive behind the scenes, see how I'm developing projects in real time. And I just launched a Substack. Actually, I launched it like 2 years ago, but I'm back. I'm trying to take it seriously. And it's free to subscribe, so check it out. It's at kurtmega.substack.com and get access to Story Matters by Kurt Mega, where I'm going to be doing writing and sharing videos and thoughts on creativity and the creative process. So if that sounds interesting to you, go subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.